So I just realized that I was using my new benders, and I probably could be taking videos of this stuff. I already installed one of the fans with a bunch of this flashing that I made, but yeah, I'll show how I've been making these. Pretty much, I lined this edge right here, this bent edge. I put it in right with that edge right there, and then I use this to come down and start the bend. Once I got the bend started, came over to here, slot this in here. Takes a second to line it up. I don't have this mounted, so I gotta push down and up at the same time. Yeah, right there. Good, solid, 90 degrees. I already got 4 of these made right here. These 4. Still gotta do one more bend if I didn't drop my tape measure. What I'll do next is the wall. Let me check what is a 1 5/8". So what I'll do is I'll go 1/8 of an inch longer, so that's 1 3/4? Question mark? Yeah. I'll mark it at 1 3/4. Not too good with the camera. 1 3/4. And then I put it back in the vise, mark at those angles. All I do is just start the bend. This bender doesn't get a perfect 45. Even if you squish it down, it only really gets to like a little bit further this way, but it doesn't make a perfectly good square. So I'm glad I picked up both these benders, because that one's really good at making a starting line. A start bend, that's where I want it bent, and it does really good at doing that. It also has all the fingers and stuff, so that's cool. But I'm glad I picked this up too, because I can finish the bend once I get started. I'll slot this in here. And you kind of always want to bend it over the 90 and then back in order to get a perfect 90 degrees. But yeah, just been making a bunch of these. They go right here. Yeah, the lighting's gonna be horrible, but yeah, they slot right there. This goes actually on this side. It's one of the verticals. But yeah, it goes right there. And all it does is protects it. One, pulls the wall together, so it's not 4 separate pieces. So it pulls it together, adds a little bit of water protection, so that way if water's running down the side, there's a flat chunk in there preventing it. I am caulking everything, but you know, it's just better to have a piece of flashing and then in there than it's not to. But yeah, just making. I've made. I guess this is the 5th one. So Made 5 of them so far. Time to make the other 4. Or the last 3, I shouldn't say other 4. Okay. Mark it 3/4 of an inch. Put it in the bender. Start the bend. I'm gonna go right here. Second one. I can't wait to get that. Whoops. I can't wait to get that mounted because it's gonna be so nice. Pretty much. I've always kind of planned to do videos like this where, or at least for my family members and stuff, so that way they can see me work on these things in a little bit more in depth instead of just showing, oh, this is what I did and this is what my plan is. Like, I kind of want to do these the sections where, you know, I'm walking through making these parts and stuff, but I've kind of been doing a lot of sketchy stuff recently. You know, standing on a 5-gallon bucket and grinding off the side of a trailer in order to get the aluminum out isn't really something that I should probably put online. Or like when I'm welding on the floor down here, I have a, there it is, there's a perfect prime example. I have a propane tank that's taking sparks. It's probably not the smartest thing. That's why I'm trying to get this trailer built so that way I don't have to worry about shooting sparks at a propane tank or shooting sparks. Drop my cat back here. Sparks into like the just into the, you know. I just don't like shooting sparks everywhere. You want to make sure you know where the direction of all your flammable items are, and I don't like just like right here. I have the piece of metal on the ground. I'm cutting things up. I'm trying to shoot the sparks back so I'm not shooting it underneath of all this stuff, but it's just kind of a pain. And yes, my vise is not mounted and I'm using it on the floor, so I want to make sure everything's set up in a way that it promotes being safe and tidy and not sketchy as all heaven. And right now these are mounted and I'm keeping my distance and I'm not worried about things going awry. They might, the unmounted metal brake might fall on my shoe, but this 3-in-1 is mounted to the bench, so I'm not worried about this thing falling. It does weigh 400 pounds, but I ain't worried about it falling. Yeah. I do plan on trying to make videos where I'm a little bit more showing what I'm doing. I haven't gotten to that point yet. Once I get things a little bit less sketchy or, you know, OSHA violation-y, I might try to do a little bit more of these videos where I show what I'm doing. Because there's a lot better content. I know my godfather and his friend enjoy watching this. So maybe one day I'll get a better microphone and camera. But yeah, I got these 4 laid out. They go up here, you know, in the square and whatnot. But I went ahead and you can always see I already mounted one of them. I was in the progress of this one when I thought I should probably take a video of it. But pretty much just cut holes out of the side. The way my trailer is see if I can get this stacked correctly. So outside in obviously is the aluminum. This is my my hole to figure out where I am located on the outside and the inside of the trailer. But this is the outside of the trailer. Then it's a chunk of inch styrofoam insulation, vapor barrier. This is a metal trailer. I always recommend that if you have plywood on the back side of metal with an inch gap, you should always try to put in a chunk of vapor barrier, because this, if the humidity or weather changes, will weep water or, you know, condensation builds up on it. So I would always at least try to recommend putting a sheet of vapor barrier between your aluminum or steel exterior from your plywood. But yeah, it's aluminum, styrofoam insulation, sheet of vapor barrier. It's the original plywood wall, which is a 1/2 inch, and then that decorative board right there. So it's 4 layers. The insulation helps keeps this trailer at a moderate temperature, helps with the moisture control and stuff like that. I'm gonna probably have to hammer all these in and do a lot of tidy up and cleaning and stuff like that. And I still gotta, you know, deburr this so it's all pretty and straighten up the lines. But just getting a little bit of progress done.